massive thank you to ASV, Punch Buggy, Dragos, AD Hill, and Theo for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video, where today we're here back with round 4 of Season 3 of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we return to Europe this weekend, of course, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Of course, got the sprint race today. The main event, of course, will go live either tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, quickly before we jump into that though, if you missed out on the last video from Albert Park, Australia, highly recommend going back and checking that one out. But I just want to quickly say a massive thank you to all of you as well for the continued support on the channel. You know, we're closing in now on 84,000 subscribers. Of course, trying to hit 90k at the moment. And of course, the big goal of 100k by the end of F1, well, the end of 2022, sorry, even I should say. But recently, you guys have been asking me to make sure that I feature a few more of the upgrades that are coming in on the car. So we've got everything set up, and hopefully we're going to try and get some more upgrades ready for this weekend. We've got the durability upgrade on the facilities. We've got a marketing upgrade as well. We will go with second driver acclaim. Get to Teo Porcher in the spotlight a little bit more there. But fingers crossed we're going to get a few more upgrades sorted over the coming race weekends there. You can see, just trying to earn a bit more money. We've got plenty of R&D points at the moment. It is just trying to make sure we have got enough money, actually, to upgrade the facilities. Speaking of which, we're not going to have enough here, are we? We are absolutely not going to have enough at the moment there. We could do something on the personnel side, or even on the marketing side, but yeah, we desperately want to try and get the powertrain and the chassis facility up to level 3. I think we have done the aerodynamics, but we have got all the upgrades going on over there. No, we can do a redesigned brake duct, which is the last of the aerodynamic upgrades we'll do on F1 22. So currently got 3 of those in the works, 3 massive upgrades. You can see they should bring us comfortably towards the forefront of Formula 1. But yeah, we're slowly getting there. We're getting the car maxed out at the moment. But yeah, let's head into it though. Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix weekend here from Imola. Like I said, we'll do practice, qualifying and the sprint today. And then of course we'll jump in tomorrow with the main event. Right, well here we are then, back at Imola, and this could actually be quite a season-defining weekend here from the Emilia-Romagna GP. Of course, for those of you that have stuck around this series from the very beginning, thank you very much, you know who you are. Of course, you'll remember last season, opening 3 races went really well, and then pace really fell off when we came to Imola, and I think it took us pretty much to the Austrian Grand Prix before we were able to get the car back inside the top 10. I'm not expecting us to fall back to back marker territory, but yeah, if the pace does fall off then this weekend, then clearly we've still got a very quick car only down the straights. Even though, of course, yeah, the real first massive test of lower speed downforce on the calendar, but we've just got to keep our head down and focus. Heading through the final couple of turns then of our first practice program, ERS test round in the final turn. That should just about clutch up there, and that will be immediately a purple score. That's promising. Right, let's jump in then. Next up, the tyre wear program. Of course, can afford to use a bit more battery as we head back down towards Turn 1 this time, which should make us a little bit safer on the Delta, but of course just try and keep it planted through these first couple of turns there and try to be smooth on the steering. Well, a small amount of wheel spin as we went through the chicane at the top of the hill, but rounding our way through the final couple of turns, just trying to avoid the wheel spin as best as possible. It is going to be mighty close. It's just going to be another purple. Picking up the R&D nice and early in the weekend. This is promising. The final practice program then of the weekend. We'll jump in and do our race simulation runs. Team wanting 1:17.8 as a benchmark time. That doesn't seem impossible to achieve, but we'll wait and see. Oh, the old school circuits on F1 really do just provide you with a sense of flow that the modern tracks really just don't seem to provide anymore. But round in the final couple of turns then, this is going to be 3 out of 3 for the purple scores here. The perfect way to start the Emilia-Romagna GP weekend. And I mean, that is comfortably 1 final purple score. Let's get into qualifying then, Friday night here from Imola. Fingers crossed we can deliver. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, the sun's still shining then here at Imola, ready for Friday night's qualifying session. Of course, always got to remember, this sprint weekend you get one less set of tyres for qualifying, so we have got to make sure that in Q1 and Q2 we try and get through with no theatrics. I think Capure currently sat around a mid to high 115, so the pace has very much improved, of course, as we've all built up more confidence in the car. So it's chuck the car through those first couple of turns there. Full commitment, full bravery, full send, as much as anything else, through the first couple of turns, and then through the Villeneuve chicane. Again, they just really want to try and make the circuit as wide as possible, down in towards Tosa, trying to late apex it as best as possible, and then avoid the wheel spin as you head up the hill. Heading down then in towards the final couple of corners of our qualifying lap there. Just braking just before the 50-metre board there, almost run the car wide through the penultimate corner, but out of the final turn up towards the start-finish line. What is the time going to be on the board? It's a 15.3. Only puts us 11th at the moment. That isn't where I'd hoped to be. So I think Capure might have gone quicker then, and I might have forgot what time he did. Well, we did try to gamble it then at the end of Q1. Charles Leclerc fastest in his Ferrari, and look at that, Capure just 3/10 away down in P6, but we only just squeezed by there, up in P16 ahead of Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda. Both myself and Latifi a little bit close for comfort there at the end of Q1. Albon up inside the top 10. We need to get down into those 114s then as we get into Q2, but at least we only use one set of tyres. Well, heading out then for our first run in Q2, we're going to have to be really strategic over the course of this qualifying session, and then we're actually going to go back out on the set of tyres we used to make it out of Q1, just so we can try and get a banker in, and of course know that there should be a bit more pace to find on the second lap here. But yeah, the only 3 sets for qualifying does make things rather difficult here on a sprint weekend. It would have been nice just to have got an extra set of the softs, of course, because you don't tend to use them in the sprint race either. You just tend to bolt on a set of mediums, which I think we're probably going to do here as well, as I can just see, yeah, lacking a bit of confidence for the first couple of turns there. Slight locking down at Tosa. We just haven't quite got the same performance that you really need. Round in the final couple of turns, though, to finish off our first lap here in Q2. What is the time going to be? It's going to be a 15.5 even, I should say. Not great, of course, but we know we were going to be down a bit on pace there. It gives us a good time to chase. Right, here we go then. Last-ditch attempt to see us out of Q2. Going to really have to concentrate now as Capure right on the cusp of the drop zone. We're sat down in P12, so we definitely need to find time here on this final run there. But the team reckon these fresh set of tyres have got like 7/10 over the old set that we used for the first run. So lacked a bit of confidence through the first couple of turns, but still able to punch the car into the green, down in towards the Gio Villeneuve chicane. And just get it dialed in there, try and build up confidence slowly as, oh, the lap unfolds there again, front locking though, down at Tosa. Lucky we're able to cadence brake and get the car slowed down, of course, without firing ourselves off Hamilton style into the gravel trap. But now as we head up over the top of the hill, they're really attacking the curbs, starting just to make a few small errors, creeping in. Through Aqua Minerale we go. That was pretty comfortable on the exit there. Got nice traction, no wheel spin that time round. And now into the chicane. Again, just got to launch the car over the curbs and pray that it'll stick there around a little bit wide on the exit. It is compromising, but I know we didn't get a best run off there last time round. Just a couple more corners to go then. And it's these 2 tricky 90-degree rights. As through the first we go. Clean and tidy. A little bit of wheel spin on the exit, but we get the car to the apex through the second one and up towards the line. Will this be enough to see us into Q3? P4 somehow? That lap was not P4 worthy. Clearly everyone feeling the pressure then towards the end of Q2, but unfortunately for Capure, they're down in P12. We do sneak through both Alpines back into Q3. They haven't seen that for the last couple of weekends. And Zhou Guanyu seemingly slowly getting up to pace here as well at Imola. They're in his McLaren. Nicholas Latifi down in P14, no surprises there, but yeah, we'll go out for one run then on that set of tyres, and then we'll do a proper sweat mode lap in Q3. Well, it's safe to say I'm an incredibly stupid man. I completely forgot about the one extra set you get right at the end if you make it into Q3, so we are going to have 2 fresh sets of tyres then for our qualifying laps here. We're going to have to really try and sweat the pair of them and just see what time we can get out of this thing. If we can get back into the 14s, that'll be good, but I really want to be looking at mid-14s if possible. Those first laps felt pretty tidy as George Russell sets the pace down into the 1:14.7s. a lot quicker than Nicholas Latifi is ever able to do in that second Mercedes, but out of the final corner up towards the start-finish line. Let's see what time we can get. It's a 14.9 again, so fractionally quicker than we did in Q2, but slower than Ocon still. Right, here we are then. Final lap of anger here at Imola in qualifying Friday night. We've done quite a lot of qualifying runs so far, but hopefully this one is going to be the best of the lot. The creme de la creme. Here, we need to get this one nailed. Sweat mode will be engaged. Nope. Just ran a little bit wide through the chicane there. Rattled over the second curve way too much. And it's going to be a first disappointing qualifying session of the year, I think, as we ran through the final corner up towards the start-finish line. We're not going to be far away from my other run, but it's going to be no improvement. And we stay P8 at the end of qualifying there. Clearly, this car doesn't quite have the same low-end speed as it has right at the top end. Well, to be honest, P8 there was probably quite a lucky result, all things considered. Neither Perez or Lando Norris able to get a competitive lap time in. But, yeah, Bottas at the front of the field there ahead of Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. I felt like if we nailed it, we could have probably got around George Russell's time. I feel there was definitely 2/10 in the car. But you can't nail them all. Let's just get into it, though. Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, of course. Top 8 get points in today's sprint. So let's hope we can try and keep the points tally rolling. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint, not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Ricciardo, George Russell and Ocon, Joe, Mr. Monaco, Perez and Lando Norris, Gasly, Théo Pourchaire, Alex Albon and Latifi, Oscar Piastri, Mick Schumacher, Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda, Drugovich, Ticktum, Magnussen and Robert Schwartzman. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Points finish, Mark? It was a dub. What on earth are you on about? Trying to I mean, come on, we won a race. The first race of this career mode. And Mark's like, yeah, we got points last weekend. Make sure you do it again, boy. Come on. Let's have a bit more hype than that, please. But here we are then, ready on the grid for the Emilia-Romagna GP. 11 laps ahead of us today. Honestly, I thought this one was 12, but clearly my maths has failed me there. But fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy. Of course, we'll need to try and get a good start for the long run down towards turn 1. But yeah, as long as we can try and score points, like I said, Imola, not often the best track for this car. Once we've got those 3 massive aero upgrades on. Oh, come on. Why has the game done this? We're trying to weave our way through the traffic to make sure we get the car back to where it should be then. Always love that little bug on F1 22. As Stroll, that was a lot earlier on the brakes than I was expecting down at the final couple of turns. But of course it is the formation lap. But effectively, I'm racing cars that, well, aren't really racing, to be honest. But trying to get the car lined back up. Then there's P9, there is P8. Thank you very much. It's like nothing ever happened. I'm going to do that as well, apparently, just to warm up the tyres. Why not, eh? I can't actually see where we're lining up now. There we go. There we go. Perfect lineup on the grid still. Let's see if we can get a good start then here today. That has got to be the worst formation lap I've ever done on F1 22. But will it therefore lead to a good start? I would not hold your breath. 5 red lights here in Imola. And it is lights out and away we go. Oh, just struggled a bit there as Gasly and Perez immediately trying to get a run on me as we head down towards turn 1. There we've got one of the Alpines, that is Lando Norris, having a look to the outside down towards the first corner as well. There's a look at Gasly trying to get in with Sergio Perez. They'd love to see Williams able to fight consistently towards the top 10 as here comes Lando Norris once more down in towards the Gilles Villeneuve chicane there. We'll try and hang firm as looks like Max Verstappen, must have had a very, very good start. They're straight up into the lead of the Grand Prix, of course, robbed last weekend at Albert Park there, an engine failure heading into the final lap of what would have been a comfortable race victory for the Dutchman. But yeah, Gasly there thought he was going to massively outbrake himself, but apparently not. As will Max Verstappen make it 4 winners from 4 different teams to kick-start this year, this weekend. We've still got a lot of racing to go, but he's had the dream start as Bottas tries to defend from both of the Ferrari cars. Nice to see them still fighting up towards the front of the order as we head out down towards the end of lap 1. They're losing a couple of spots. Is, to be honest, not that bad by my standards, but we need to try and be aggressive today. We need to try and make moves happen early on, especially, of course, before the DRS. We'll see if we can get a run on Pierre Gasly out of the final corner. Use the last of the battery for lap 1, but look how strong that Williams is out of the final corner. They're nowhere near close enough as we head back down on lap 2. We're going to have to pray for a bit more battling from other cars around us, as maybe just running a bit too much downforce here. Can never really tell in qualifying. You've always got to wait for the race to find out. Or we might have to try and be a bit creative with our moves today as we head down the hill towards the end of Sector 2. Oh, we thought about it on Pierre Gasly there, but you can always just tell with the AI whether they're going to give you room on corner exit or not, as we can see heading out of the final turn. Lap 3 of 11 has just been started. DRS will now be enabled. Looks to be a bit of a gap forming behind the top 3, so one of the Ferraris might be under pressure from George Russell as Lando Norris in that Alpine very, very aggressively cut the nose off of Lando there. Porcher is going to be able to sneak by, but that Alpine is rapid down the straights. We're going to have to definitely tweak the front wing angle, ready for the main event tomorrow. Oh, we've got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues, and it's definitely a car in front of us who's going slowly. Here in Imola, don't say it's Max Verstappen again. No, it is the second Ferrari there. Daniel Ricciardo out of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. We've got Perez now trying to have a look for a move on Zhou Guanyu. So this is going to enable a bit more battling for us. And now just means we're 1 point outside the... one place, outside the points once more. Definitely feel like I'm still a bit stuck behind Pierre Gasly at the moment, but we're all just latched onto the slipstream of the cars in front there, as I think Ocon, under increasing pressure from Zhou Guanyu, the DRS really helping the McLaren out there, as he's going to be able to have a look through the outside of of Esteban Ocon, though he's going to get to the inside, back down towards turn 1. They're aggressive battling between the pair of us. Once more, though, Zhou Guanyu will slot back in, and it just allows the cars behind to bunch up. We got a horrible run, though, through the first couple of turns, but I need to be trying to line up a move on Pierre. As you can see this time around, a whole lot closer on the exit of the chicane. We might have to try and send it Down in towards the final couple of turns. Up the inside of Pierre Gasly we go. And that time round, we do complete the move there. Had to try and take Pierre a little bit by surprise, as he might still be able to get a good run out of the final corner. But at Imola, you've got to be brave. You've got to absolutely send it there, because we just don't seem to have the top end speed on the run back down towards turn 1. Looks like Zhou Guanyu will sit in behind Ocon this time, but it is still getting spicy.
Some information on Perez.
Oh.
Okay, they're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Well, that certainly makes things interesting then. Perez now apparently has got issues in this Grand Prix, so we might be able to apply more pressure to the Red Bull. First of all, got to try and get back within the DRS of the second Red Bull car there, as Max Verstappen at the front of the field still leads the way, and we won't quite be back within range this time around as Sergio, but hopefully it's a matter of when rather than if. Oh, more yellow flags out. Someone else has got issues in this Grand Prix. It's one of the Alpha Tauris again. Yuki Tsunoda out of the Grand Prix. Of course, we saw both Alpha Tauris in the Haas RTG retire from the Singapore Grand Prix a couple of days ago. If you missed out that video, I'd highly recommend going back and checking it out. But Perez definitely struggling, has dropped away from Zhou Guanyu and Esteban Ocon, so in the final 4 laps here, he might become more and more vulnerable to ourselves. It looks like Gasly's ran into... Oh no, I think Gasly got jumped by Lando Norris, and they went side by side down at turn 1 there, so Gasly's definitely lost out in all of this, but we could still try and recover P7. Oh, Perez there getting a big wobble out of Aqua Minerale. Surely now we're going to be able to try and line up a move. Oh, a bit of a lock up there. Just kiss the back of that Red Bull. They got right into the Oracle logos on the rear wing. But 3 more laps to go then here from Imola. We've dropped back a little bit further behind him than I would have wanted. But are we going to be able to get a run out of the final corner this time around? There, Perez again struggling. Try and get the front end of that Red Bull where he wants it there. Activate the DRS as Perez. Verstappen even, I should say. Still just hanging on to the race lead at the front of the field there from Bottas. But you can see if we're just a couple of tenths closer, we can certainly get a run on Sergio back in towards turn 1. Also just got to be careful and try and save up a little bit of battery. And this is exactly what I'm talking about then, as we get ready to start the penultimate lap of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Catastrophic understeer down at the bottom of the hill, but surely now we're going to be much closer to Perez to try and get a run there. The AI is still able to get fantastic drive off of that final turn, but are we going to be able to have a look past Sergio there? He's going to go uber defensive, making it very clear where he wants to head down towards turn 1, and the Red Bull car will completely miss the first apex, and we'll say thank you very much. Read him like a book. It's for some reason I think become my common catchphrase on F1 22, but Perez has been disposed of. We're now up into P7 of the race, and unless we see some fireworks between the two in front, 2.6 seconds there to Zhou Guanyu, I think this might be all we can do today. Starting the final lap then here from Imola, and I mean Zhou Guanyu is very close to Esteban Ocon. Something might be able to happen on the run back down towards turn 1. It looks like Verstappen at the front of the field might just be able to hang on as we went purple through the final sector, but will Zhou Guanyu be able to have a look there? To the inside of Esteban Ocon he goes. Final lap here of the Imola sprint, and they're still heading side by side through the first couple of corners. Can we get a lot closer on the exit? It looks like Zhou Guanyu might just have done it, and a critical last lap overtake for the McLaren man will promote him up at a P5 of this Grand Prix there. We're just taking time hand over fist out of the pair of them as we head up the hill. Got to be a bit careful still in the traction, but yeah, second half of this lap we definitely are a whole lot stronger there. Just able to get the car dialed in, of course, running a lot more downforce than anyone else. But it looks like Verstappen, it won't quite recover the points lost from last weekend at Albert Park, but Verstappen is going to win the sprint race here today and hopefully put himself in good stead to try and take home a feature race victory tomorrow. But don't bottle it on the final lap again, Matt, please. Still get PTSD from Saudi Arabia a couple of weekends ago. Verstappen, though, will win the race here at Imola. Round in the final few corners, it is going to be Bottas P2, Charles Leclerc P3, Russell, Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, and we recover up to 7th.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. It's time to check out the constructors' standings. McLaren supplant the previous leaders and take control of the championship. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, there we are, though, the end of the Emilia-Romagna GP sprint race, and it is Max Verstappen who finally crosses the line first to take the checkered flag there. Bottas P2, like we said, Leclerc, Russell, Zhou Guanyu, best result of the year for him so far in P5 ahead of Ocon, myself, and Lando Norris did take the final point away from Sergio Perez there. Gasly dropped back to 12th, quite a few movers there. I have no idea what happened to Teo Porchero. I saw he had to pit on about lap 5 or 6 of the race, so a long way back for him. Going to be a tough rest of the weekend there, but only 11 laps, yet still 2 DNFs. Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo both not making it to the checkered flag. Championship-wise, though, doesn't look like we've seen much movement across the rostrum there. 2 points separate Leclerc, Verstappen and George Russell as we head into the main event tomorrow, but Bottas still clean out front, 24 points clear of his main championship rivals. They're further down the order, no movement whatsoever in the drivers' table there. Constructors-wise, Aston Martin, of course, moved their way further up the order, despite being on 0 points, apparently. McLaren, though, lead the way by just 2 ahead of Red Bull, so that move by Zhou Guanyu was actually quite essential there late on in the day, just to continue to build up their gap. I mean, George Russell has scored all but 1 of Mercedes' points so far, so we can definitely try and hassle them as the season goes on. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will return very soon for the main event here from Imola. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.